Excited to dive into today's episode. It's something a little different. Usually we're talking on-court basketball action, but today we're going to talk a little basketball on the stage. I
Yeah.
saw there's a new play at Theaterworks in Hartford called King James, and joining me today is one of the actors from it, Greg Perry. So, Greg, thanks so much for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, Jared. Excited to be here.
Yeah, so I guess let's start really high level here. Take us through King James a little bit and what the play's about.
You got it. So basically, the play is about two friends who kind of meet and bond over a shared fanaticism, so to speak, over the Cavs and specifically LeBron. They meet in LeBron's rookie year, and then it kind of courses through the play takes place through about 12 years of their friendship, through different trials and tribulations, and it corresponds to large events in LeBron's career, like when he left the Cavs, when he returns, when they win the championship.
Yeah, very cool. I know I saw a lot of the LeBron James stuff there, so curious to see how it tied in there. Are you personally a big basketball fan, and is that what appealed to you about this role?
I am. I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan. I have been since I was a kid. So, and it's rare you find a play that kind of discusses the
Yeah.
way friends bond over sports, right?
Yeah.
But that being said, it's also just a really, really funny play. It's a really honest play about the way two guys would interact about real things using
Yeah.
sport, kind of the way they bond. So both of those things, yeah, were exactly why I love the play.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things about sports is the community and friendships that can come from being a fan of sports. So just talk a little bit about how you see that play out through the play a little bit.
Sure. So the writer's name is Rajiv Joseph, and he's clearly a huge basketball fan. I believe he's from outside Cleveland, so this is all very real for him.
Yeah.
Uh, and so basically, a lot of what happens to the characters kind of corresponds to LeBron's career. For example, one of the characters kind of goes away to do his own thing when LeBron leaves, and one of the other characters is kind of upset about it. Then one of them comes back and is doing well when LeBron's doing well. So it kind of matches what's
Yeah.
going on with him. And then you're just kind of watching what would happen between two friends over a 12-year period, the different things you go through. So if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a really cool concept and one I'm excited to definitely come see and check out. How do you get involved with the play here?
So I auditioned. It was a very stereotypical story of where my agent sent me an appointment, and I was able to go. With this particular play, it's kind of unique. I was able to understudy this production in New York
Okay.
a year and a half ago, so I was kind of familiar with the project already. And then when this co-production audition came up, I was pretty excited. So I'm happy Rob chose me, and I get to come here and do it at TheaterWorks.
Yeah, I'm interested because you mentioned that you were a sports fan and a basketball fan. How
Yeah.
does that your own like personal fandom tie into the role here? Because I feel like you've just kind of probably been through these experiences a lot as a fan yourself. So how did you bring that out on the stage here?
Well, I mean, there's little things that are not important. For example, the players that we mentioned. So we're going back to the 90s Cavs. So we talk about Brad Daugherty, Mark
Yeah.
Price. Then we fast forward to the Cavs. We're talking about Zydrunas Ilgauskas. So all of these guys are just in my, I
Yeah.
just, easy.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas, I talk about at one point. So I can just talk about it, which is fun when you're doing a play, right? I don't have
Yeah.
to look anything up. All that aside, that's not exactly it's not so important.
Yeah.
But I just kind of found it fun because I have those conversations with my friends all the time. So it's a very easy thing to do.
Yeah. In terms of, the conversations, were they are they similar to ones you've just played out in your own personal life, but with your friends?
Absolutely. As a New Yorker, huge Knicks fan,
Yeah.
which for the many years of poor play and terrible run franchise, yes, a lot of the conversations are very similar. So I'd say absolutely. It's very realistic in the sense of the way two friends would discuss basketball
Yeah.
or sports in general.
Yeah. And then you mentioned, and I'm curious just to dive a little bit more into talking about connecting the basketball in the stages of LeBron's career and what's going on to like just daily life in general. So how does that play itself out a little bit throughout this performance?
Sure. I think not to talk about too much about the play. I want everyone to come see it, but
Yeah.
there's definitely a tie-in, especially for one of the characters, kind of discussing how when you pour your whole life into a team or to a player, how they could just let you down, and it
Yeah.
totally your whole lively your whole existence is you're questioning yourself like why do I love this so much? Why am I so obsessed? So that's kind of a theme in the
Yeah.
play. These guys trying to mature and maintain their being fans and also try to like move other parts of their lives forward, you know?
I know you mentioned earlier that it's a funny play. So if people coming out, this is a comedy to see.
Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, it's comedy. It's not yeah, it's not some sort of drama. You know, there's definitely some things that happen throughout the play, but
Yeah.
it's funny throughout.
Looking to add some local flavor to your lineup? Martin Rosel's is the MVP of your game day spread and a slam dunk for any occasion. Proudly made in hard-hit New Britain, their famous kielbasa and hot dogs have been a fan favorite for over 96 years. You can find their products in grocery stores across the state or have them delivered directly to your home court, coast to coast, via martinrosel.com. Take your taste buds to the championship and go support a UConn fan-owned business. Connecticut here is obviously, especially when it comes to UConn basketball, is a big basketball state. Have you started
I
to
know.
get that feeling of being here around it and really like kind of tying that into the basketball theme here in Connecticut?
Absolutely. I went to I forget which restaurant it was nearby where we're staying downtown where the apartments are. And
Okay.
I went in to go get my like normal dinner to go, and the bar was just packed with people. I've never seen this many people in this little restaurant. And I
Yeah.
was like, what's going on? And they're just like, oh, UConn.
Yeah.
It's over at Hart. And I was like, oh, of course. And it was just like
Yeah.
the energy of downtown Hartford was like it was crazy. So, and I always knew that about UConn basketball, but absolutely,
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel it.
There you go. I'm curious in just you being a Knicks fan. You said, obviously the play revolves around LeBron James and their kind of fandom and love of LeBron. Is there a Knicks player in your from your experience that you kind of relate in a similar position to how these characters view LeBron?
Oh man, I mean, sadly, I mean, hey, we're in a position now where maybe we could start having this conversation about Jalen Brunson, but I'd say like not real, no one's LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Which is why this play works too. It's
Yeah.
there's a lot of Jordan LeBron conversation in the play. So growing up, I don't know. I mean, I loved Ewing,
Yeah.
but I mean, are we on that level with it? No, probably
Yeah.
not.
All right. So who's your take on the LeBron Jordan take there? We gotta get that from you out.
Oh man, I feel like I don't want to be. I feel like I'll start reciting like a talking head on one of these TV shows. It's a really hard conversation. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I think in 20 years this might be an easier conversation, but right now it's really going to be hard for me to ever say someone's better than Michael Jordan, probably.
Yeah.
But
No.
LeBron is like in year, what is it, 21
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
And
It's
he's like,
crazy.
it's unbelievable what he's able to do. And so it's hard. I don't know. How do you feel? I'd be
Yeah,
curious.
I tend to be Michael Jordan person. I mean, what the level of greatness that you saw from him. I mean, what LeBron does. I mean, doing it at his age now is beyond impressive too. I mean, I think it was
Yeah.
against your Knicks just a week or so ago that he really went
And then the
off for a
trade news that night.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's a tough one, and I know it's something that keeps the talking heads definitely up and keeps them going.
Yeah.
Uh,
We even
uh,
mentioned in the play that it's kind of one of those arguments that's never going to be ended, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. There's never going to be the definitive, answer from someone on this. It's always going to be one of those things that's hotly debated there. I'll wrap with this one for you. I know you guys are in Hartford here for a little bit. How you liking it around here so far? You getting accustomed here to life in
Yeah,
Hartford?
more and more I've started to be able to go out and kind of go to restaurants and bars. In the beginning, usually in a rehearsal process, you're kind of in your little bubble where we're
Yeah.
just kind of rehearsing the play. I'm trying to stay, hydrated and working, learning my lines. So now I'm starting to like experience downtown. I like it a lot. There's a lot of great restaurants. There's a few cool bars, so it's been a lot of fun.
Good. Well, let everyone know. Just plug the play. Obviously, we mentioned at Theaterworks,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
give us
So
the info.
so you're gonna go to for ticket information, it's theaterworkshartford.org. We're running straight through March 2nd, every day but Monday, and there's a couple matinees a week, I believe, on Saturdays and Sundays. Theaterworks Hartford is right in downtown Hartford, right on Pearl Street, and so I really recommend people come out if they
Yeah,
want to see a
cool.
play about friends and different
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah, very cool. Excited to come and check it out. So, Greg, thanks so much for hopping on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jared. Thank you very much.